Loggers POW.
Right, were things always better with the new generation of computers to come out? That's what we're going to be finding out by looking at some 8-bit classics which got converted to the Amiga. Right, so this is Commodore 64 classic Armorite. A game that grew on me in the end, and I actually really enjoy playing nowadays. But it went to the 16 bits. Let's have a look. Right, so this is the Amiga version of Armorite. So I saw this back in the day and didn't like the look of it, and so I've not really given it any time, but I did like the Commodore 64 version, so let's take a look. Oh, animated intro bit, very snazzy. Ah, yeah. And here we have the initial problem here with big graphics, weapons that don't do a great deal of damage, fire rate's about the same as the Commodore 64 version. It also just seems to run too fast. You can't select your weapons like the Commodore 64 version, you're just given them. But some of the design elements here are just baffling. Drops of water, bet they kill you. Yeah, because they always do. I think technically this is sort of a pseudo sequel reimagining, I'm guessing, but my god, it is hopelessly underpowered as a game. I mean, it looks pretty, but it's nowhere near the standard of the Commodore 64 version, which I think is going to be somewhat of a theme here. We'll have a video if it wasn't what was going to be going on here. These, oh, that's a boss. Oh, okay, that thinks it's from Salamander. Well, it was pretty easy. But it's almost like a case of they knew they could do all this pretty stuff with graphics and put all that effort into it, but lost about what was good about the original game's design. I mean, I think it's needless to say that Martin Walker didn't have a hand in this. I think Martin Walker did the original, I really can't remember. I've just realised I lost all my weapons and I died, so standard shoot 'em up trope. But the Commodore 64 version, you kept some of them. In fact, you had that like an option thing floating around helping you out in the Commodore 64 version. You haven't got that here. And oh, lazy design with the stupid droplet things. Oh, absolute bullshit. But yeah, it is very, very underwhelming considering what the Amiga can do with this kind of shoot-'em-up. I mean, look at Apidia, for God's sake. Absolutely excellent. Just suddenly shoot-'em-up sections from Turrican. I mean, hell, even Battle Squadron, I don't like that very much either, but hey-ho. I mean, you can, it's sort of, the collision detection's okay, but the ship is just too goddamn big. Yeah, like that sort of thing. It's just, if you're going to have a swarm of aliens like that coming around, you need to be able to prepare for it. I mean, look at that sort of thing that happens in R-Type. It's not unfair. You've got some fair warning about what you're going to be doing, but this hasn't got that. But yes, it's not very good, and to be honest, it was I suppose, what the fuck? A bit of a rip considering how expensive this probably was. It was probably a £20 game, when most Commodore 64 games are still a tenner. So yeah, not really very interesting. I played the Commodore 64 version. Let's see what's next. Perennial classic, International Karate Plus. Here again on the Commodore 64. Absolutely great game, a classic. But as you've guessed, it got dragged onto the Amiga. Right, with a nice glow up on the title screen, International Karate Plus. Now this one is done by Archie McLean, so interesting. Let's see how this pans out. Actually, nice looking graphics. For some reason in my head this looked really cartoony, and some nice digitized sampled sound effects. Actually, you know what? This is okay. I was really thinking it was going to be a travesty, but the fact it was programmed by good old Mr. McLean himself, I think we've managed to keep the spirit of the original, which is nice. I won. Graphically, it's probably not the best the Amiga can do. The background for my money looks about the same as the Commodore 64's one. I can't remember any of the moves. I managed to do the splits thing somehow. Oh dear. But yep, still holds up fairly well. We were a tad faster than the Commodore 64 version, but I'm not doing very well, and I'm out apparently. Brilliant. Let's give it another try. I'm not finding it as easy to land the hits as I did in the Commodore 64 version I briefly played before recording this. Managed to stay in there by the skin of my teeth. Well, that was pretty cool. Oh, excellent. Very good. Very good for me. That's a Pac-Man. So yeah, okay. So this is on par with the Commodore 64 version. It retains a lot of its charm and playability. Actually, what we'll do, let's just have a quick look sideways. Yeah, I said we're going to go sideways. Isn't it just Karate Plus again? And we're looking very much at what we've literally just looked at. Brilliant. What are you doing this for, Bloggo? Why? What's your point? Well, this is the PlayStation version. That's right, 2002, Ignition Entertainment had good old Archie McLean make a PlayStation version of International Karate Plus. And it's pretty much the Amiga version, as you can see. I mean, it's sort of interchangeable, isn't it? And it's still one button control, even though there's like comparatively 1,000 buttons on the PlayStation pad compared to a zip stick, but it's probably not quite as I don't know, the contact isn't quite the same, So yeah, it's just unusual. It's just so strange that they pulled a complete James Bond on this and brought this back from the grave. Released at a budget label price of £10 probably. But interesting that it exists. It's definitely harder, that's for sure. Especially that red guy. And I'm out again. But yeah, I thought that would be really interesting just to show that. Really, it is the PlayStation version. I'm not fibbing. It's Whisball. The absolute classic from Sensible Software. Great stuff. But, of course, Ocean had to go and drag it onto the Amiga. Right, here's the Amiga version of Whisball, a Commodore 64 classic. So select one player, straight in, and whoa, that's a lot of information. Yeah, wow. Ah, crap. And it doesn't feel as good as the Commodore 64 version. It is a bit unusual at this point in the game because you've got to select the power-ups to make your wizard in a ball actually maneuverable, which in this version is absolutely torturous. And look at that, that power-up disappeared when it went off the side of the screen. That's so annoying. That logo at the top is really distracting, really distracting. Right, Alright, we've got one. Right, so we've got the prerequisite power-ups to actually move properly. Always wondered that as a very strange design choice, but sure, okay, it is what it is. Right, and cat. Yep, that's a cat, trust me. Oh, God knows what they are. You can sort of protect yourself with the cat as well. But these guys are being relentless. Right, so we need some paint. But it feels slow. It almost feels choppy, like there's a frame rate problem with it. It's very hard to put my finger on what is actually wrong with this. Oh, it doesn't make the sound. When you go down a hole in the original, it goes boom. Like that. It was really cool, but no, not in this. I haven't seen any paint yet now. I'm sure there was a... was there something you had to do to get the paint drops to come up on the screen? I know you collect them with the cat. But yeah, I mean, you could see what some of the thought process is here. Is like, oh great, let's get one of our most popular Commodore 64 games. Oh shit. On the Amiga, and then yeah, fair enough, it's competently programmed, but is completely missing any of the subtlety of the original. It really is. And I've just gone down loads of holes. Yeah, the control is completely off. Oh my god, that is so annoying to play. I don't really want to play it again. Zaps from Houston. Hey, it's a classic. But you'll never guess what. They had to go and drag it onto the Amiga again. Right, so the Amiga version of Zaps. Now, this is a bit of an odd one, considering I think it was a Spectrum game first and foremost, but I only played it on the Commodore 64. So I'm going to be comparing it to that version, obviously. Let's have a look. I quite like the Commodore 64 version. Oh, lordy. What have they done with the ship first off? Well, it sort of feels like it. The fire rate is far too slow. Way too slow. And I do believe you pick up weapons. Yeah, that's right. By holding down the button and running into a power-up. Oh, shit. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, the fire rate on this ship is just abysmally slow. Weapon power-ups are very few and far between. I mean, they're here, but they are not what I would say as common as they are in the 8-bit versions. Well, at least the Commodore 64 version that I have been playing. Well, I've got 2 bombs now, so that will do some stuff, I suppose. A weird droning sound, which I suppose is fine. I can't remember if the Commodore 64 version didn't have music while you played, that's for sure. But this ship is just so bloody big, and the fire rate is so low for even for a starting weapon. Right, this one, if I actually manage to get another power-up pod, will give me some sort of homing missile. There we go. Well, that's really feeble. I'm sure it was better than the C64 version. There should be a boss coming up soon, maybe? I'm sure there will be. It's going on, well, fair little time this level. I don't want to select any other weapons because I don't want to really lose this homing missile thing, which seems to be quite handy. I don't think you can have more than one. I think you can have like a homing missile or a oh, I can double up my homing missile. There we go. Yeah, you can power up each one, but you can't have more than one. Whoa, what's going on with that? That looks nothing like the first boss in the Commodore 64 version. And it is just a great big slab of grey pixels. Ah, crap. How far back do we go? I don't know. Very far. But it's, well, that was the speed up, so that means I'm now moving a bit too fast. What's that one doing? No idea. No idea at all. But yeah, again, it's missing the charm. It's a conversion by the numbers because they could. Whether they should have done it is another thing. And here comes the boss again. And this is just a tedious boss fight. I mean, the Commodore 64 version had at least a fairly entertaining and challenging boss fight. This is just really tedious. Is it getting close all the time? It is, isn't it? That's really annoying. And somehow I appear to have lost my speed. Do the weapons run out in this? If so, that's really annoying because I didn't notice that. Again, on the 8-bit version. Oh look, we've done it. Well done me. Stage 2. Yep, that's the same as Stage 2 of the Commodore 64 version, the asteroids. Very wobbly looking asteroids, but yes. Yep, it suffers from a lot of the same problems Armorite suffered from in terms of large ship size, over-designed graphics, and a really, really shitty rate of fire. At least most of the alien things are not bullet sponges, because that is a big problem with shooters of this era. Yep, again, stick with the 8-bits here. Anybody wants to chime in and talk about the Spectrum version in the comments, please feel free. In the meantime, I don't want to play that again. So there we go, some Amiga conversions of some 8-bit games. Generally speaking, most of them are pretty poor. But what did you think? And also, have you got any suggestions of the same sort of thing? Comment below.
Yeah, subscribe or naff off.